Steel boots stomping, crashing the floor. Two wild Yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. From the bug with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two dumb Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. It is Steeler Friday. Welcome back to the Two Dumb Yinzers. It's also episode 806. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome back. This is the first Steeler Friday of the season, guys. It's here, and as John is saying on the board, one day in a wake up. That's right, guys. Literally 24, 48, I don't know, probably about 49 hours and 15 minutes. We will be getting this game kicked off in New Jersey, MetLife Stadium. The Pittsburgh Steelers at the New York Jets for the season opener of the 2025 installment of the NFL. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Michael. How are you doing today, brother?
Dude, I'm fired up, brother. It's Steeler Friday here. I'm fucking ready for some football. Caught some of the game last night. It got the juices flowing.
Yeah, you don't want the juices that your boy has flowing over there in Philadelphia, man.
We have a second spitter.
You know, and I love him. And you know I love Jalen Carter, and I've always loved Jalen Carter, and I wanted him in the draft. And, of course, the season started off with Jalen Carter spitting on Dak Prescott, guys.
Dak spat first. He retaliated.
Whatever. Again, I got a couple things I do want to talk about before I get started today, Mike. I got a theory.
Got a theory.
I do got a theory. I got a theory on not Dak Prescott, but Will Howard.
Mm-hmm.
I think this. Now, hear me out.
Okay.
I'm reading all these articles about that. About Will, and the doctors are scratching their head. It's this injury. I just read an article before I came on. I think now again, you could doubt what I'm saying, and you could think that I'm wrong. But I think I know what happened, and I'm being straight up serious. I think he punched something. Because let me lay out my argument.
Okay.
Where the break was, that's the fifth metacarpal. It's right below the pinky nail knuckle on the hand. Now, this is called a boxer's fracture when you break this particular bone right here. I did it before. And the thing I think happened was this. It may not have been aggressive. He could have just been playing around. You got to remember, he's basically still a college kid. The guy
Yeah.
was in college earlier this year. I think, look, there goes one of them little guys that flying through my air conditioner. What I think was this. I think maybe just, even messing around. You've done something and hurt yourself more than you intended to.
Yeah.
Mike, again, just because I went through this, I think it's a possibility that he punched something. And also, when you work somewhere, especially as a professional. I had a job. I wasn't a professional when it happened to me, but I didn't tell my boss what happened. I told my boss I smashed my hand between a washer and a wall, moving the washer. And especially if you're in the NFL and you're a rookie and you might lose everything if you come out and be the guy that punched the stupid idiot that punched the wall and broke his hand. I'm just saying it's a very, and again, the fact that these doctors are scratching their heads, saying to themselves, I don't know, this is weird. And the way that he explained it, he had his hand under there, it jammed his pinky back so far that it cracked the actual metacarpal, which is God, it's really hard to do. And again, most people, it's called a boxer's fracture. And most people that break their hand, it's right there when they punch something. And coincidentally, this is where he broke his hand. And again, do you want to be the kid who's trying to earn a job, comes in and tells your boss, yeah, I punched something and I ruined my whole rookie year? Again, I'm just saying, I'm not accusing, I'm not saying this is what happened. I'm just saying this is awfully familiar to me personally, because I went through this and I didn't even, Mike, I wasn't a football player. I told my boss, like, I wasn't going to tell my mom, I look like an idiot. You know what I mean? You don't want to be that guy. So again, I'm just saying, Mike, again, he was a college kid just last year. It wouldn't be out of the question for a young kid, even to not in an aggressive manner. Maybe he might have been pissed. Maybe he might have just been messing around. To me, again, just being there, it adds up. The fracture right in the boxer, right here, fifth metacarpal, right hand as well. I mean, you wouldn't punch something with your left hand, but most of the time, right hand fracture, mysterious. Doctors scratching their head was literally the headline I read this morning. They can't understand what happened. And I understand somebody's going to come out and they're going to say Jeff Saturday broke somebody's hand. I understand that, but look how freakish that is. There's like a bazillion snaps every year in the NFL, and one dude literally only had his hand broken by Jeff Saturday. Again, I'm not accusing. I'm not saying this is fact. I'm not saying I read this or heard this anywhere. I'm just saying that I've been there, and I know exactly how one feels when those kind of things go down. And, especially in your peer group. And again, this guy's trying to land himself a pretty important job for the rest of his life and a career, So again, the injury itself is the same exact injury that you have when you punch something and you don't intend to break your hand, but it happens. I've had friends, and again, I dealt with it personally, and very similar. I'm just going to leave that there. Again, I maybe this will come up in the future. Maybe we'll never, ever find anything out, which if he's smart, he will keep his mouth shut if that's the case. But I'm just going to leave it there. And then here on September 5th, 2025, if it comes up down the road and he retires and says, hey, guys, you remember back when I broke my hand as a rookie, and tells the story? I'm just saying, guys, it's an awfully familiar situation to me compared to how bizarre the story is that's actually being told. With that being said, good morning. Welcome to the show. This is Steeler Friday, guys. Good morning. Welcome back to the show. Amazing names on the board as always to start off the show. Let's get some names. Let's get some messages in, Mike, before we do get things kicked off. John says 1 day and a wake up. That's right, baby. Just a little over 49 hours and 9 minutes away from the Steelers kicking off their 2025 campaign. RB, brother, what's up, sir? He says, I didn't realize how awful the Jets wide receiver room was. Oof.
It's god awful.
It's not a good team. The Jets are not a good team, and there's people that's we're going to get into a whole bunch today, so I'm just going to leave it right there. RB says it's from not opening his hand wide enough on taking snaps. I've seen pinkies broke before. You know what though? Again, it just kind of goes into the story that and again, nobody's pinky has never been in the way to break a guy. Again, this is a very rare thing, and for doctors to say that they're kind of scratching their head on it because it doesn't add up with what the actual injury is. I don't know this is fact. I'm not even accusing him. I'm just saying what I know what I went through, and it's exactly the same. Exactly. But again, I'll leave that there, whatever. And again, in 20 years, when the guy retires and he exposes it, Mike, we'll pull out the old episode 806 and just kind of revisit the episode. But again, I'll leave it there. I don't even want to make anything of it. Just a thought that I had. And as I'm reading more articles, they're not coming up with anything that makes sense as far as an answer. They're kind of going around this story where his hand was in a freak position and it jammed his pinky, and it jammed his pinky so hard that it actually snapped the metacarpal. And again, I'll leave it right there. Corey, what's up, brother? He says, what's up, guys? I didn't catch the game last night, but I heard a lot of shit on the radio about it. It was good. That was a good football game. Hey, it was the NFL. I'll take it, guys. And you know what? Those are going to be two pretty good teams this year. The team that I thought was going to win won, and you know what? They won it pretty much in about the same fashion. Mike, the NFC East is going to be pretty tough with those two teams. Also, Washington, and even as you guys were mentioning, the Giants yesterday are making steps to become a better squad. So watch out for the NFC East. I think both of those two teams are going to be fine, but nothing is much funnier than the Dallas Cowboys starting 0-1. With George and his 3 catches and his personal foul, and they'll learn. They'll learn.
Oh, George.
John says he was boxing the clown, slipped and hit the wall. I've been there. Here we go, Steelers. That's right, Aaron. It's the day, baby. It is Steeler Friday. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the terrible board. Always great seeing everybody. Aaron says 2 days. The wait is worse than waiting on Christmas Day for a 6-year-old child. Absolutely, man. And you know what? The Steelers are saying the same thing. This is like a holiday. This is Christmas. They can't wait to get out there just as much as we. Mark Malone, I thought he broke the pinky. It's right below the pinky, right underneath the knuckle. Good morning, Cody. Brother, what's up, sir? Always great seeing you. In Vegas as well. What's good, my friend? Always great seeing Vegas on the board. RB says, well, guys, don't really get under center much. And I mean, over time, just over, they didn't always be in shotgun. How many times in your life, and I'm 47, I mean, I'm 22 years old, and all the football I've watched, you'd think this might have happened a couple times in almost 40 years of watching football. But again, I'm not arguing it. I'm just a suggestion because it is something that I went through. And again, it just seems very familiar. And there was no way I was going to work at my job and telling my boss that I punched something and broke my hand. It wasn't going to happen. It wasn't going to happen. And again, this guy has a lot bigger fish to fry than I did, of course. Corey says, I expected the score to be what it was with an opening day primetime divisional game. And, we got more football tonight. A lot of people, some people don't realize that the Chiefs play, the Chiefs and the Chargers. I think that's going to be a good game. If you look at the picks, which we did, I got my picks in yesterday, Mike. It's official. I went over to the CBS Pick'em and I picked him. And I am 1-0. And I have the Chargers. I have the Chargers today. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Vegas has said the Jets have enough talent to win. It's not like they are some Division II college team. That's true. They're all NFL teams, even the Browns, believe it or not. Vegas also says it is supposed to rain again this afternoon. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Of course, this is Steeler Friday. I do want to say good morning to Derpy as well. Derpy, my friend.
Good morning.
How are you, sir?
I'm great. Peek the title below the Derpy sign.
Let's see. Derpy does not spit in someone's face like low IQ Jalen Carter.
Wow.
I like the little system you got, though. Every day it's something different with you that's entertaining. I think people could like that, Derpy. I commend your efforts. Good morning, and I hope you had a great day, and I hope you're ready for the Steeler game.
I'm ready, man. It's Christmas.
It is Christmas, guys. I know everybody's waiting, and I got to be honest with you. I'm really, really excited. It's here. We're just we're 2 days away, 49 hours and 4 minutes exactly to 1 o'clock on Sunday afternoon in New Jersey. Guys, it's on. We got a lot of things to go over today, Mike. We're going to do overs, unders. We're going to talk about what the keys to winning. The keys to winning this game for the Pittsburgh Steelers are, and just some basic predictions and what we think is going to happen. Maybe who you think is going to possibly score the first touchdown for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Jets, even if you want to as well, guys. So a lot of things to get into today. Again, it is the first Steeler Friday of the season. I'm here for it. You're here for it, guys. Welcome to the show. Let's do this thing and get ready for Steelers Sunday, everybody. Yes, the Eagles did win like 24-20 in this particular game. These things happened. George Pickens catches 3 balls for 30 yards. He dropped a couple on some pass interferences. He looked good. He looked like George Pickens. There's nothing that didn't look like what the player that we saw here since he got in the league was. The guy played the same exact game. But that CeeDee Lamb, boy, he was a playmaker. I don't got his numbers in front of me, but I know that he led in the receiving yards and all the receiving categories. They're both going to be really good teams. I'm watching this game and I'm thinking to myself, both of these teams are going to be just fine. They're both probably going to make a run. I think, Dallas did what Dallas does. They fell in a big game when they needed to win. Yeah. It was what it was. That's probably what it's going to be moving forward. But pound for pound, from what I seen last night, beside the spitting, this was two really good football teams that's going to be good throughout this football season. Are they going to be the best in the NFC? I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, what I saw, Mike, these are two solid teams, top to bottom. They have really good rosters. I would think you would want to upgrade over Dak, but that's just me. But I'm just saying, guys. And then you take the Micah Parsons out of the Dallas defense. So that makes you wonder what kind of difference that would have made had he been in the lineup for Dallas on defense. So again, guys, it was NFL TV. It was a good game. NFL on TV. It was a 24-20 game. I enjoyed it. It got my palate wet. Again, today we have the Chiefs and the Chargers playing out of the States, guys. So again, football all through the weekend. Tomorrow, college all day. Sunday, all the games. And then Monday night, Minnesota and Chicago top it off with the Monday night matchup. So, guys, Mike, how you feeling? How you feeling after you got your perennial NFL cherry burst last night?
I feel like a brand new human being after we got some football last night. And talk about CeeDee Lamb, if he catches two of those balls that he dropped out of the 4, Dallas might have won this game.
Right.
And it was like very uncharacteristic to see CeeDee drop those, but like you said, he still had it. Whale of a game. I think he's one of the most underrated receivers in the league. I think, like, Dak Prescott, to me, he's an enigma. One season he is like up for legit MVP discussions. Other seasons he's not. I don't think he was the reason they lost this game. I think it was the turnovers and the drop passes. But it was a good game. Like, you can see the Cowboys, they have good players, good guys on that team. But there's something with them to where this collection of good talent cannot pull through. And I think that's the story of this era of the Dallas Cowboys. They have a lot of good players,
like they're in our category. They feel like they belong in our category.
But they are.
If you go back to last season, it was 24-22. They scored on the last play of the game. We didn't even get a chance. They feel very similar to us just in the overall picture. You have a lot of good things going on, but you just can't bring it together to stay consistently good.
Yeah, and they went out. They changed their head coach to see how that works for them. But you still got Jerry Jones running the ship from top to bottom, GM and owner. It's until Jera passes on from this mortal coil, I think they're going to be at our level. Teams that have talent, that find ways to win games, but then when it comes time to the big ones in the playoffs or the regular season, they're going to find a way to lose. And that's what they are. And Philly,
their defense is strong.
Yeah, it didn't. Like, from what I saw and what I read, their secondary wasn't looking that hot with a couple drop passes here or there.
Only let up 3 points in the second half.
Yeah.
All the scoring was done in the first half. It was 21-20 at halftime, 3-0 in the second half. So, you can say what you want. Both teams scored on each other's defenses as much as each other in the first half. Second half was a 3-0 game. Again, I thought this was a good kickoff for the season. I always thought that they're supposed to put it was the Super Bowl champion. My fault. I was thinking the Chiefs play tonight, but I'm wrong. I like always seeing the Super Bowl champion play the first game of the year, especially against a team that has pretty good talent. Mike, I enjoyed this game thoroughly. I hate the Cowboys, and I got to be honest with you. If you hate the Cowboys, this game has to be rewarding to you to see Jalen Carter spit in their quarterback's face. I mean, as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, all you could do is just kind of sit back and enjoy this and say, right?
Right. And going back to the Eagles real quick. This is like the typical Philadelphia Eagles offense. Jalen Hurts under 200 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, but ran for 2 touchdowns and effectively moved the team down the field when needed in the first half. It's just mind-boggling how, like, when you put him in the Super Bowl, he's throwing touchdowns all over the place. You put him in the regular season game, he forgets how to be a quarterback.
That's why I
love watching Jalen Hurts. You don't know what you're going to get.
I don't feel an elite quarterback, even though he's really good. Even though he does a lot of things really good, and
he's not elite.
He just doesn't feel elite to me. But again, here's the guy scoring all the touchdowns and running. I mean, you got Saquon Barkley, and you outscore Saquon Barkley, and that's what I'm saying. He's really good. but I'm having a hard time pulling him into the elite quarterback category.
Yeah.
I just don't have an answer on why that is. I don't. He just won a Super Bowl. He just did all these amazing things. And again, I have a hard time doing that. I don't know what it is. I don't not like the guy. There's nothing about him that I particularly don't like, but that's just the way that's playing out for me, Mike. I'm having a hard time accepting him in the top tier of quarterbacks, and the guy is doing more than Allen in Buffalo, and the guy's doing more than Lamar in Baltimore, and these guys are considered top tier quarterbacks.
Yeah, but I think that if you put Lamar or Josh Allen on this Eagles team, I think they win a Super Bowl as well. So he landed it. He's in a good spot, and but he's that guy like when the lights get bright, he plays better. Whereas those other two, or at least definitely in Lamar's case, the lights get brighter, the worse he gets. So I almost want to say he's a modern day Terry Bradshaw, because Bradshaw in the regular season overall really wasn't that good for the most part of his career. But come Super Bowl time, he's winning multiple MVPs there.
Like, look at his career numbers. I mean, his career numbers would tell you he was good. He was really good. Mm-hmm. But he has as many interceptions as he has touchdowns. That's no better than that's come on. And the game in general, that's just not that great. Again, they are good numbers, albeit he let up a lot of the interceptions. But once you got him in the playoffs, lights out. That's kind of the guy that you have in Jalen Carter, not the skill set, but how the career is playing out.
Yeah, and I think like Jalen Hurts, I think he is to me the definition of a game manager.
Yeah,
and that's not a knock on. I don't say that as a negative like a lot of people do. He does what is asked of him, keeps the offense on schedule, doesn't turn the ball over a lot, and hey, make a play for us when we ask you to make a play, and he does. Like, but it's good enough. It wins you a Super Bowl.
They're doing more than we're doing. Derby, before I spit on you, what do you want?
What you? No.
Whoa, Derpy! You had to make it sexual.
All right, what's up?
I just want to point out that with all the praise of Jalen, that we were praising Jalen Hurts and everything, we did take Chase Claypool before him.
And I'm kind of glad we did, because I don't think we would have gotten anything out of Jalen Hurts.
You never know.
And we still had Big Ben at our disposal at that time. He was he was coming back from that elbow injury, but we didn't know how bad it was. So it made sense to go out and draft Claypool, because we had a Claypool, Deontay Johnson. I think, did we still have AB at that time? I can't remember. Yeah, he may have been gone at that point. But we needed a wide receiver. After the course of that pick at the time made sense. In hindsight, maybe it would have been beneficial to take Jalen Hurts, but I don't think we would have been able to get anything out of him the way they are in Philly. Because remember, like Philly Hurts looked terrible up until about 3 years ago. He looked like a bum. So you never know.
Did you hear the stat last night that he's been in the last championship the last 5 years or something?
What, the NFC Championship?
No, just the general Super Bowl and the national championship for college.
He has not been in the last 5. Jalen Hurts has not been in the last 5.
Oh, never mind.
Anyway.
I must have misheard it. My fault.
You're good, Derpy. Happens to the best of us.
I mean, if you heard something on TV, I don't know what. But guys, let's get a couple of things before we do get started. Steelers are going into the game with Derek Harmon out, of course, our first overall pick in this year's draft. He is out, guys. Hoping to have him back very soon, maybe even next week when we do kick off at home against the Seahawks. But that is it, Mike. Nick Herbig at practice yesterday, practicing. The one question mark, though, now I know what you're going to say. He doesn't practice a lot on Thursdays. He hasn't. But again, don't you think that Cam Hayward should have possibly been a leader yesterday and showed up at practice and even walked through the drills at some point just because of the situation that he's in?
Yes, he should have participated.
Because in case you didn't know, Cam Hayward did not practice yesterday. He did not participate. After practicing all week long, yesterday comes along. He did take the Veterans Day off, which again, a Veterans Day off, I would think would be for somebody from, that's been overworked to some extent, or even worked to some extent. The guy hasn't played a down in preseason, and again, he hasn't played a meaningful down this year. But he took his Veterans Day off again. You got to think that this was an asshole move. He was just trying to do this for whatever reason he was trying to do it for. Again, I feel that Cam Hayward should have been out there with the rest of his teammates, the 52 other guys that's getting ready to go into battle on Sunday afternoon to try to have this season that they're trying to put together for these guys and get them the best, the options. We could have went out and got free agents that were nobodies like we've done in the past. That's not the case. They built a three-headed monster in our secondary. When was the last time our secondary was scary?
Right?
Scary.
Long time ago.
Guys, it was the 90s. And that wasn't just it, guys. They continued all off season to build this team and to shape and form and put it in the ways that they expect to have a good season. And Cam is playing his Cam games again. I thought he was done, but yesterday he does not practice. So that is going to be a question mark as of right now up until game time. As Mike Tomlin said Tuesday during his press conference, he expects Cam Hayward to be participating Sunday. But the fact of the matter is, it's feeling sketchy right now, guys. I really think, just as a person that's been in a workplace my whole life, and even younger playing football, I think this yesterday was a practice that he really should have been a part in, Mike. Even if he loafs through, I think he should have been out there with the guys.
Even if you weren't going to practice, you wanted to take that vet day, at least show up to the practice, be there through the walkthroughs and like talking to the guys, pointing stuff out to them, being that veteran leader of like, hey, when we're doing this drill, do it like this, or hey, how about you try this out there, or hey, good job on that drill. Fuck yeah, we're gonna go out there and do like that type of leadership. Show up for that, because he took vet days last year and the year before, but in those ones, I believe he did show up to practice. At least it was there for the guys. This year, it sounds like he didn't participate and didn't show up. So
it sounds to me like he has.
This is his last grasp to try and get a contract.
The United States of the America president has less vacation days than Cam Hayward has. I just don't understand. Again, listen, whether he's there, whether he's not going to be as prepared as everybody else is going to be that was there, because he didn't participate and get his reps in. And a lot of people are saying these things. And listen, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be there. I didn't expect him. Again, I figured he would be there yesterday with his 52 other teammates, his coaches, his coordinators, and preparing himself, because they do play a game, guys, in just 48 hours and 49 minutes from now. So, again, what's going on, I don't know. We're certainly going to keep our eye on this over the weekend to try to figure it out. But one thing that we did do, guys, is we dodged a bullet. We dodged a bullet by not trading for Amari Cooper, as Amari Cooper decides to retire. Yesterday, he was somebody, Mike, that was kind of, we mentioned all along, and as people started getting plucked from our grasps, he ended out, he remained. He was in the pool of free agents, and it came down to the very end. And then he ended up flying the coop out west, and he's like, all right, whatever. But Amari Cooper retires as of yesterday. This is something that probably should have happened to us because of what's going on with our wide receiver too. Wouldn't this have made sense? The Steelers bring him in, and he retires just 3 days before the season starts. Doesn't that feel like something that should have happened to this Steelers team in this wide receiver room right now?
It does too. I was like, when I read the story, like that was one of the first things that popped in my head. It was like, huh. It would have been apropos if it happened here, because Mike Williams signs, retires. Now Amari Cooper signs and retires. I'm glad we dodged that bullet. I'm glad we dodged it. And he thought he still had something left in the tank. Started working on, goes, no, I'm done, boys. I don't have it in me anymore. You never know it's gone until you try it one last time. And thankfully, it happened to the Raiders and not us.
Let's jump back at the board, Mike. A lot of good messages coming up on the board. I don't want to miss anybody today. This is a big day. This is the very first Steelers Friday of 2025. And guys, hopefully the very next show we're going to be Steeler Victory Monday. But let's see before that, what is going on the board? Once I can find exactly where we were at. Let's see. Right here. Corey Beavers, he says, I truly believe this is the year of the drop-off for Kansas City, and I'm here for it. Swift is going to suck the life out of the team. That means two things. And I agree with you, Corey, because this is how I picked accordingly. I did take the Chargers tonight in the Chargers-Kansas City game. I do think this is going to be a little bit of drop-off for KC for a year or two, but I don't think they're going away. Mark Malone saying you're saying more metacarpal, no phalanges. Well, it's the bone. It's right here beneath this, right here on the outside. This bone, you can feel it right beneath the knuckles where it broke. and that's the metacarpal. Fifth metacarpal, actually.
Before.
RB says, I played in an adult league, and Chris V. Riel was on a team, former Bills and Bears guard. His snaps were harder than 90% of the quarterback's passes. It was nuts. And these guys are strong. I'm not taking that. I'm not taking anything away from any of these guys. Am I doubting that Zach Frazier could break somebody's hand? I'm not. I'm just saying it's very similar to what I went through. And as the doctors continue to say, they're scratching their heads. I'm just trying to put the pieces together. Again, I'm not accusing anybody of anything. I'm just saying it was very similar to me, and it just it seems like it's a possibility, especially for a guy that doesn't want to F up his career and throw it away in the first 3 months as he starts his job. Phil still says, good morning, Two Dumb Yinzers and Terrible Board. Always great to see Phil, especially this time of year. Phil brings a lot of energy in football season. Once the Steelers kick off, Phil is still, man, he brings it, I'm telling you. Mark Malone says, Peaches is vibing the peach just thinking about it. Hey.
Peaches.
Phil still says, who? I think that was
Hey, now, that's my aunt.
Don't talk about Derpy's aunt that way. Vegas says, I guess a lob pass to Mount Washington split wide like in practice will be the first touchdown on first and goal from the 3. And guys, throw that up there as well on the board today. Who's going to be the first Steeler touchdown of the season? Now, providing they score a touchdown, we don't know. Again, last year's opener was an 18-12 game that was very low scoring. And again, guys, throw your predictions up. Who will score the very first touchdown of the season for the Steelers? Bill Steele says, just one comment today. 88 in choker defense. No Parsons. Lost a dub. Back to Steelers football, bringing the boom. But the key to victory are Steelers offensive line and no 3-and-outs from the Steelers offense. Good take as any. If they could accomplish those things, they'll certainly be better than they were, right?
Yeah, substantially better.
Absolutely.
With the comment of the day.
Cody says, my guys, I'm sorry, but the game was boring. Can only watch the Cowboys till halftime. I turned on something else. Beer was good and the good excuse to drink. Yes. You know what? I thought that at one point too, especially in the second half when there was no scoring going on. But at the end of the day, I thought this is what I waited for. If I'm going to be bored while doing it, at least it's something that I like to do.
Second half was kind of like a preseason game. It had that vibe to it after that rain delay.
But I like seeing, you
Was
see
a rain delay?
the game was delayed for a while.
Way to stay on top of things, Derpy.
Well, Derpy has to be in bed by 9, so I didn't expect him to see it. Yeah, but I would rather be doing this and be bored than something I don't want to do and be bored. So I was cool with it, at least right now. John says, hey, John, what's up, brother? Always great seeing Big John Stud, middle name Mud, on the terrible board this morning. He says Mike is correct. TB equals Hurt. ATB equals okay, so Tony Bradshaw equals Jalen Hurts. I don't see anybody else.
This is why John's on top of the friends list right now.
Is he on Schindler's list though?
He's on Schindler's list,
okay.
Baby.
We'll continue because I think I see some other comments about this, Mike. So we'll continue forward. Cody says Jalen Hurts is the same as Lamar Jackson, if not better.
Ooh,
he seems to be Mike. He seems to be smarter to me.
Yes, without taking the chances.
Yeah. I think that what's her face Lamar is a more physical, gifted player. Now I'm not taking anything away from Hurts, but it just seems to me that Hurts has it together a little bit more up here, and that allows him to be a better football player.
Because I forget who said it yesterday. You can see like from Lamar in college to now in the pros, he makes those boneheaded plays.
Okay.
I agree with that. I think he's a much more physically gifted athlete. I think he has a much better arm, but Jalen Hurts knows when to take a chance and when not to.
I agree. I mean, they both got really good teams around them, so that's that's half the battle there. Now, how do these two teams quarterbacks perform with these really good teams? And again, it's weighed out one way more than the other. We see. RB says winning a Super Bowl doesn't make a player elite. You're right. Not at all. Look at Eli Manning. I don't consider him an elite receiver or quarterback at all. I agree with you, brother. John says Barkley is number 1 round draft pick, running back. He's a stud. Absolutely.
That's why I chose him.
Absolutely. Again, I mean, he didn't have a great number number wise, which I think Najee, in that team has great numbers too. So again, say what you want. He's going to have a great season. Saquon Barkley's good. Nobody's denying that. Mike certainly especially loves him because he's from Penn State.
Yeah.
So.
Shut up, Derpy.
What do you say?
Yep.
Derpy has him in our fantasy team. He took Saquon Barkley, and Barkley got you 13 points. But that's all right. Derrick Henry's getting me 75.
What do you have, like 60 yards? He only had 3. He was like averaging like 3 yards a carry.
Yeah, it was. Hey, got a touchdown, got the dub.
But you know what?
He's on pace for 1,000 yards, brother.
But you're right. You're right. With the 60 yards a game, he is on the pace for a Najee Harris type season. Like
He's on for the Najee season.
And behind
baby.
him, Philadelphia's offensive line, he better not do worse than Najee did in the past 4 years, because you will not hear the end of that behind our picket fence line that in our terrible offensive coordinators and everything else. This is perfectly made for Saquon to be successful in Philadelphia. So again, guys, he's going to have a great year. He's going to put up a lot of statistics, and he's probably going to jump over some people. There's no denying that. But the shitty grin that Mike gets on his face anytime that anybody talks about him is enough for me to dislike him to the very core of my being. But again,
I have that way of taking likable people, and because I like them and obnoxious about it, to have Ryan hate them. It's a
Vegas says this. Vegas says Bradshaw had 7 300-yard passing games in his career, which isn't a lot for the amount of time that he played. And 2 of them were in Super Bowls. So what's that say? That's it's proven the point with what was being said. RB says Jalen Hurts is Tua in a better situation. I kind of sort of agree with that. Had he been in Philadelphia, and providing he didn't, hit his head a million times,
severe brain trauma,
he could probably be in the same position that Jalen Hurts is in. And Jalen Hurts could certainly be in the same situation that Tua is in Miami. Because again, Jalen didn't look great early on, and this team's a really good team. And when you have this really good team around you, that does a lot of things for you. And to me, that's fair. It's fair. I think that it could have played out that way.
He's a modern day Trent Dilfer.
Who? Tua?
Hurts.
I think he's better than Trent Dilfer.
I think he's better, but you know what I mean. In that same vein of, don't fuck this up.
Yeah. I mean, he does. He controls the game very well.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Tommy, welcome to the board. Welcome to the terrible board. It is Steeler Friday. Mr. Tommy says, are you speculating, or was there reporting about him taking the vet day off as contract leverage? I don't know if it was contract leverage, but he did take the vet day off. That is the what was reported. So why he did it, I don't know. Again, I would think 3 days before the game, maybe you might want to be participating with your teammates to be prepared. But to answer your question, Mr. Tommy, the reported news was he did take a vet day off. Correct, Mike?
And he was the only vet to
and he was the only veteran to do it. Just coincidentally, I'm just saying. So do what you want with that. But he did take a vet day. Was it for leverage? I can't confirm, but again,
like he did it the past 2 years, but those are the only 2 years he did it. And now this year with the contract, it's like,
I mean,
a lot of moving parts of that story, and the way he's been acting, it wouldn't surprise me if it was for leverage.
Exactly. John says the Eagles owner and GM get it. They built a team around Hurts that can beat Mahomes and the Chiefs. That includes controlling the head coach, HC. RB says John gets their head coach gets it. He head coaches, not plays OC and defensive coordinator and GM. Vegas says he kept it 100 with himself. John says, RB, I agree. He adjusted after the Eagles fell apart 2 years ago. Management didn't give him an option. The weird thing about these Eagles, they can be really good, and then they can fall off out of nowhere. Do you remember just last year before they went to the Super Bowl, Mike, where they got beat the first game in the playoffs, and they lost all those games to end the year, and everybody was hating each other and at each other's throat. So, I mean, this team, they've shown signs of both directions. They could get really good, and then they could get really bad.
Yeah. Because they went to the Super Bowl, had that next year it looked like was going to be the year. Then you said they fell apart, and like everyone was at each other's throats, and then magically they go out and get Saquon Barkley, and everything came together.
Let's see a couple predictions here, Mike. Corey says, I think it will be KJ from the 1 yard line. That's going to fit into my overs and unders today, Mike. I'm interested to see what you and the board have to say about the over and under today. A lot of interesting overs and unders. And again, this is one of the hardest weeks to predict because, again, you have nothing to go off of.
Yeah.
You're going off of stuff from 7 months ago and beyond and trying to make the most accurate picks that you can, and it's difficult. Again, as I was doing the picks yesterday on the CBS Pick'em, I was finding myself struggling because I thought, well, these guys were like this last year. So they have that section where you could go in and look at the analyst.
Yeah.
But you know what the thing is? There's only X amount of information there as well because nothing has happened yet this year.
Yeah.
But again, go ahead.
Yeah, it's trying to use like last year's info to figure out this year, but you realize rosters change completely, coaching staff changes.
We have
game players have changed completely.
A half of our starting players from last season are not on this team, are not starting this year. 11 of 22, I believe it is. So, how do you scout a team that's like that? You can't. It's very difficult.
It's like John said, you really don't know what teams are until about like week 4, week 5.
You're right. Mark Malone says DK Metcalf will score the team's first touchdown. Richard, I don't know if this is tongue in cheek or this is what he believes, but Richard, I do want to say first and foremost, welcome to the board. Great seeing you on the Steeler Friday. Richard is saying Connor Hayward will score the first touchdown.
I will. If that happens, I will do the truffle shuffle, but it has to be the first touchdown. I'll do the truffle shuffle
on the show. Okay.
Boy, I can't wait for that.
Well, I already regretted saying that, brother.
Spice Creations. She responded to Mr. Tommy asking about the injury, or I'm sorry, the holdout, the vet day. I'm sorry, the vet day. Vegas says Derpy still has to be in when the street lights come on. Have you seen a bunch of little kids have been coming up missing? I worry sick about you, Derpy. Sometime I do. And them street lights come on, I worry sick. Mr. Tommy, Mark Malone says Calvin Austin III is taller than Hurt. No, he's not.
There's no way.
They can't.
I mean, he's a midget, but come on, Calvin's a little dude, man.
Jalen's 6'1".
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess in the NFL that's kind of short, but geez, oh man, Calvin Austin. Vegas says the Giants won both of those Super Bowls and 2 crazy catches. Take them crazy catches out of there. Let's just say you take those 2 catches out of both those Super Bowls, they probably don't win. And again, probably a part of why he's not elite.
Yeah,
I'm talking about Eli. Of course.
Yeah,
we thank the Giants for those 2 wins, though.
This is a good one, Mike. I derp your Spice Creations, and I do want to say hello to you, Spice. Always great seeing you. She says, I don't agree. Tua can't get out of trouble like Hurts. You know what? I agree. But had he been in Philadelphia, had things been different, had his blocking been different, had his coaching been different, had his development been different, had his receivers been different, so that's why I just say if you put him in the situation, Jalen got a pretty good situation right now, and it's almost impossible to F up if you think about it. And so I know what Spice is saying, and I know what you guys are saying, and I never really thought of it that way. But as I'm thinking about it, again, it could have played out totally different. And maybe Hurts is down there getting his head smashed and whatever. Just saying, they're 2 totally different teams, and you wonder how much of that played into the success and lack thereof for both of these young men.
This Tua just doesn't have that escapability the way Jalen Hurts does, too. And he's a statue. I know we're
similar in stature. They, you know what I mean?
They really are. I think they're both around like 6'1", 6'2".
They're built the same. You know what I mean? So that's
Alabama quarterback factory at that point. It felt like those 2 were this back to back at the same time. I think is how it went.
Vegas says Tua can't afford to hit speed bumps too fast now.
Oh, Jesus Christ! That cat, he's literally, I think, one more bad hit away from being done.
He might be. I would have been, Mike. I would have been
after that first one. I'm like, I'm taking my guaranteed
playing on the field, and I see myself like this. That would have probably been it for me.
Yeah.
So kudos to him to continue on with his NFL career. What a beast! What a warrior! I respect guys like this. Being a football fan, I really do. Let's see. Also, Corey says I don't agree with that. Tua doesn't have the same situational awareness, but again, give all the situations and change them around. Let's say that we never seen anything that Tua did in Miami, and we never seen anything that Jalen did in Philadelphia. Totally uproot them, change them around, and go back and start over. That's what I'm saying. You might have a similar situation. Do you think that Philadelphia would be terrible? Do you think Miami would be in the Super Bowl? Just saying. Spice says, don't insult Hurts like that. RB says, I don't. Dilfer was better than people think. He was on teams with low offensive talent, even when that Super Bowl team was a joke on offense as wide receiver. Now, the thing about Trent Dilfer is this. He was up and coming in the late 90s. He was an all-pro in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the late 90s. And then he goes over to Baltimore, and he doesn't have to do much to win because that defense was one of the best defenses ever, the 2000 Ravens defense. And they did. I mean, they beat the Giants. That was the defense won that Super Bowl. And then after that, it seemed like Dilfer started to kind of like he reached this plateau. He was doing good, all pro. Super Bowl didn't have to do much. Then after that, he just kind of stayed. He kind of plateaued, never went further. You know what? It seemed almost like he stopped trying. He achieved a lot of things early on in his career. But he was different. Again, I don't know if he wouldn't have won that Super Bowl that early, if he would have continued to get better in the NFL. It was kind of weird how he played out. He was, again, in the late 90s, him and about 5 other Buccaneers on one of those teams were really good out of nowhere. And I remember he made that Pro Bowl team, and there was a lot of talk. And it was kind of an interesting early career for Trent Dilfer. But you know what? That's a name that you're always going to be able to say. Guess what? Trent Dilfer could win a Super Bowl, so can,
so-and-so. But, yeah, looking at his – like, he did have, like, 2 back-to-back 20-yard passing seasons for touchdowns, but he threw a shit ton of interceptions.
Yes.
But those Tampa Bay teams were fucking god awful.
Yes.
But then after that, after Baltimore, he did fuck all.
Yeah, exactly. Corey says, I'll do one better, guys. KJ is going to have 5 touchdowns this season, and they're going to be off of long Warren runs. He's not going to have over 600-yard rushing, but his touchdowns will piggyback off of Warren's success. Okay.
Hey, as long as we're scoring touchdowns, baby.
Almost like Jerome Bettis. Remember, they would Willie
Fast Willie get you down to
Willie would get 130 yards, but Jerome Bettis would have 3 touchdowns from the 1.
It's like the Eagles. Saquon gets you down to the 2. Jalen Hurts, we're going to push you in.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? Probably should have been a 3-touchdown night for Saquon last night.
Exactly. Exactly. He's hurting his numbers.
My man Austin, what's up, dude? Always great seeing you on the board. On the terrible board, this is Steeler Friday. Welcome to the show. Austin says Darnell getting that first touchdown. I would love for big Darnell Washington, big Mount Washington to get the first touchdown.
Washington gets the first touchdown, I won't do the truffle.
Do the awful waffle.
I don't know the awful
waffle. Yeah, it was. I don't even want
to. Shorts. I know, but I don't remember the awful waffle.
Okay. We'll remind you if it does happen, Mike, and we will do the awful waffle.
I'll do anything to entertain.
Vegas with the comment of the day. Pin it.
All right, we're getting there. Derpy, I'm going to spit on you. I swear to God. Vegas says, Derpy, if you are scared, just get fat people. Just get fat. Nobody kidnaps fat people. Mike, is it
hell yeah, brother? I'm living proof.
Mike is still here, so maybe there's some truth to this.
You can't steal what you can't pick up.
Always great to see you, Spice. Thank you. RB says, after looking over this Jets roster and being a new staff, I could see that's what I'm saying. I don't think that this team is good enough to beat. I just don't. They're not a really good team. They haven't been a really good team, and I don't think the improvements they made over the past 8 months is make them a really good team. Despite, people are saying a lot of things about us. There's still a lot of people that don't think that we're going to have a winning season. There's still a lot of people that think the Steelers aren't going to make the playoffs. Guys, again, in my opinion, yes, you do have 11 different starters from last year's 22, but Mike, I think that you would have to say a majority of them are improvements. And we were 10-3 last year after 13 games, and we did go to the playoffs. And so again, how does people have us winning 7 games, 3 less games with improving? A lot of Aaron Rodgers. A lot of people are thinking that it's going to be a flop. A lot of people think it's going to be good. Again, I do have this in my notes. We're going to get to that real shortly here, guys. John says this, and we will get to some more. John says Hurts with his torso pads has a back that looks like a female Russian power lifter. Like who's that one? Like that Brock Lesnar's daughter, huh? Ooh. She's getting married. We talked about that, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. But fantastic first quarter of messages, guys, on the board. Always
bringing it.
Always love what Steeler Nation has to say. Always. I don't care if it's good. I don't care if it's bad. It's the fans. It's what the fans of the Steelers have to say. That's all that matters. Not media heads. Not all that bullshit. Listening to people that love this team is what it's always been about, guys. Let's get into it, Mike. So a couple things that did get accomplished was this. Aaron Rodgers, we found out yesterday, Mike, that Aaron Rodgers will not be doing any weekly appearances on the Pat McAfee show. I don't think that this is even a big issue, but as Steeler fans, Mike, I think this is just another right move that he makes to keep the coaches, this organization, and the Steeler fans happy. Mike, yes. AR8 not being on PMS at all on Tuesdays this year, is this a good thing?
I think so. I think it's a very good move. Limit the distractions.
Yeah.
Because, Aaron Rodgers would usually go on like a Monday, then Tom would go on Tuesday or whatever days they would go
Right.
on. So that way there's just the one media message getting out there. I'm all for it. I am all for it.
Let's talk about our quarterback here a little bit, Mike. We're going to talk about him. Everything that I'm reading, every report off the website, off of every side website, everything I'm seeing, Mike, is this: Aaron Rodgers is focused. And you know what? I seen his big lemur eyes yesterday when he's being interviewed before with the end of the practice. I'm like, this guy looks like he's either on acid or robo tripping, or he's focused. But I got to be honest with you, the guy has focus in his eyes like I've never seen. You're not going to tell me that Aaron Rodgers is not ready to go up there and play that team, Mike, in New Jersey on Sunday afternoon.
Dude, look at the thumbnail. The picture I have of Aaron Rodgers, that's going to be the picture I use for every Steeler game.
Bug eyes.
Big old eyes bugging out. Either, like you said, he is hyper focused, or the acid or ayahuasca has taken over, and I'm here for it, brother.
Yeah, man. Also about our quarterback.
He does look like a Rafiki from Madagascar.
He does.
I like to move it. If Aaron Rodgers throws for 4 touchdowns, I will perform the dance of I like to move it.
I'm having a real hard time keeping up with all the things that you're going to do.
I just keep throwing them out there. Everyone, they get lost in the sauce.
But you know what? We got it on tape, brother. We aren't going to miss a single one. We're doing something.
That's AI, brother. That's AI Russian propaganda.
A couple of things also, Mike, about our quarterback. Another thing that I see is, this kind of carries into it, Mike, just the focus. Okay, so John Smith comes out. He said this is like Christmas, as Derpy said earlier on the show. Like the team, and I think because of Aaron Rodgers and his focus, they are more ready and more focused than I see the team. But wait, let me say this:
one person.
We thought this last year.
Yeah.
Was it the case last year? Again, they started 10-3. So again, I'm very excited that they're excited. I'm very excited that they're ready to go. Mike, they have stuff that they're going to use that I think that is going to blow people's mind. Again, you know me, I'm skeptic on this Arthur Smith offense. But one of the things I'm seeing here is this. The way they use 3 tight ends, you're going to tie up so many different things on defense and prevent the defense from doing what they want to do. With having 3 tight ends with Arthur Smith, what I'm reading right now is telling me that this is something that the NFL just doesn't see. These are looks that you don't see in the NFL, and this could gum up defenses enough to be able to do other things. Now you can't run your blitz as normal. Now you have to worry about the 3rd tight end I have to cover now, and maybe Aaron gets an open look because you're focusing on this now opposed to what you had been doing before, Mike. So this is a big thing that I'm excited about seeing is Arthur Smith offense. Mike, does Arthur Smith's offense finally start to have an identity this year as they tried it last year? And, of course, we had a lot of pieces that weren't in place that we needed. Mike, does this Arthur Smith offense finally get an identity this year? And if it does, that's kind of a big thing. Again, if the league has to just focus on you, if you run something specific that nobody else does, think of the Buffalo Bills in the early 90s with a no-huddle offense. If you're playing 17 games and this team isn't in your division, you're not going to put 110% energy in your 3 days of practice during the week trying to uproot everything that you do and learn exactly what it is that this team does, like that offense that the Bills had. You just went out there, you played your game, you made adjustments, and you did, I just say, Mike, if this offense is what they're saying that it is, that could be kind of a big thing for this Pittsburgh Steelers team, especially with a lot of people not quite expecting and knowing what we're going to come out and do, how we're going to come out and look. Mike, this Arthur Smith's offense, does it take identity this year?
It does. You're going to see a lot of 11, 12, 13 personnel using every tight end we have and lining in them up in different spots, different formations, and, creating mismatches that way. All of our tight ends are big tight ends that are athletic. How many of these smaller linebackers are going to be able to keep up with them? And we start running the ball effectively. Yeah, we're not a straight ahead power team anymore. We're that outside zone team, but you're still getting pushed around by a pretty big offensive line. Then you add in the big tight ends beating up on these smaller linebackers. It's going to wear everyone down, not only in the run game, but in the passing game as well. You're going to be tired. Then you have to go out. Then we go out and throw out Scotty Miller, Roman Wilson, Calvin Austin, who are all burners on top of DK, who's also a burner, but also a bruiser. So, yeah, the Arthur Smith offense is going to have an identity. And you're going to see multiple guys with catches every single game. This ball is going to be spread around. That's why the lack of a legit number 2 receiver, I don't think is a big worry, because the ball is getting spread out to anyone and everyone on that offense. And it's going to be creating mismatches, man. I gotta tell there's not many teams that can match up with our tight end room. I know it's not a sexy thing to say, oh, we got the best tight end room in the NFL, but you look at teams that have been winning recently, they utilize their tight ends in the middle of the field. And what haven't we used a lot since Ben retired is the middle of the field and tight ends.
Freiermuth,
Jonnu Smith,
jab or anything, but Pat Freiermuth was not Travis Kelce. He was not George Kittle for that matter. So you have to have the right personnel. But we do seem to have that personnel now with Jonnu Smith, Darnell Washington, and Pat Freiermuth. Pat Freiermuth becomes a lot more valuable because again, if he's you have less help around you, you're going to get more. Mm-hmm. But I think he's more valuable now in the big picture. Yeah, he makes the tight end room even better, which makes the team better, which they could do different looks, different things with. And I think that could go a long way, Mike. And again, with just creating that identity, I think is important for the Steelers. It's certainly by week 5, when the season is officially going. And it's on, the wheels are turning. So the first couple of weeks are always choppy. I mean, you go out there and you do what you do. You see the game last night. I mean, there's going to be things that happen that are uncharacteristic. But again, by week 3, 4, 5, I'd like to see that offense really taking shape, Mike. And again, if we're sitting there at 3-0 going over to Dublin to play Minnesota with this particular offense, with our defense, you got to start to feel good about things. And that's a lot more than what a lot of analysts are saying. Like, a lot of analysts have Pittsburgh missing the playoffs, but a lot of analysts, on the other hand, have Aaron Rodgers doing good. Yeah. To me, this doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. And kind of like going to what Mark says on the board, he said we had 2 deal hole quarterbacks last year, but we got to think about what was the 2 quarterbacks that we had before the 2 deal holes. The big improvement, it was a big improvement last year going to Russell Wilson and Justin Fields from Kenny Pickett and Mitch Trubisky. So, again, so we are in that area, Mike, where we're thrilled. The wind is in our sails. We're hoping for the best. And again, a lot of people saying Steelers don't make the playoffs, which is, again, I don't even understand where that's coming from, as it seems that the team improved over the past 8 months. And again, this team, I can't say this enough, was 10-3 after 13 games. Yes, that Final Four and then the playoff game was that's called shit in the bed, and that's what happened. But to get to that point, something good was happening. Good things were happening. And if we made those situations better that needed improvement, I can't see how this team isn't as good as they were last year, at least.
Yeah, at least for me, the floor for this team is 10 wins.
10 wins. I agree. It has to be.
It has to be. I know it's easy to say it has to be. And you look at the roster and the moves we made, some guys are older, but they're still competing. I know we've been crapping on Kane, but he still was an all-pro last year.
Yeah, sure.
He still played at a high level. Can he continue it? You hope so, because if he does, I hope he does. I hope he wants to go out and prove he wants more money from us. Go out there and prove it, bro. You're going to make the Steelers mad by going out there and being an all-pro again. Jalen Ramsey was still a very good cornerback last year. So I like the additions that we had. DK Metcalf, you're getting around.
And Mike, let's just say
around 1,000 yards, roughly 1,000 yards a year from him receiving.
Let's just say that this team doesn't need the defense to carry it this year.
Yeah.
And the defense could actually go out and do what it wants to do and impose its will, opposed to trying to keep the team in the game.
Being blown up by week 8,
right?
By week 9, yeah.
And you let the defense do what they need to do instead of having to carry the team. So in those areas, I think we vastly improved. And again, we won't know. We won't know until it's Sunday afternoon, Mike. But here are a couple other things that might be somewhat encouraging, Mike. Patrick Queen says he feels a lot more comfortable entering year 2 with the Steelers. Now, he let me down a little bit, Mike. I didn't think he looked that great last year. Hey, he was solid. He was fair in the middle. But at the end of the day, you want to see more from that particular inside linebacker. Mike, he's saying he feels more comfortable with year 2. Do you think his production do you think it increases substantially, or do you think he's basically going to be the guy that we see, and that's what he is, especially at this point in his career? He's kind of not older, but he's quite a few years in the league now. Mike, is his season noticeably better this year?
I think so. I think it's going to be noticeably more consistent, because there were games last year where oh my God, this is the guy we signed. And then you go 3 or 4 games. It's where's Patrick Queen? Why is he overrunning this play? I think he becomes more consistent this year. I think they took with the green dots, not his responsibility anymore. So he doesn't have that in the back of his mind. And I I like that he, told the coach, say, I'll do it. I'm not comfortable, but I'll carry us through this year with it. I'll get us through the year.
That's being responsible.
And
You know what I mean?
that is. It's,
I like that.
It's setting ego aside for the greater good.
I like
of
that.
The team.
I want to
that shows a maturity level. Yeah. Like, hey, I'll call the players. I'm going to go out there and do my thing. Let me focus on what I need to do. And, having Peyton Wilson being the green dot guy, hopefully that responsibility, will help him play better as well. And him and Queen can feed off each other. I think Queen's going to be more consistent this year. And then if you get the front three eating up more blocks this year, that's going to free Patrick Queen up to not have to fight through blocks a whole hell of a lot, because he's one of those quick, fast guys, not the guy that's going to bull through a guard to go make a tackle. So if that front three can contain, or the front two can contain the guards, Patrick Queen was going to be a whole hell of a lot better too.
Mike, I do have some, speaking of familiarity, the Jets, they feel that they have the advantage because of their familiarity with Aaron Rodgers. We have familiarity with Justin Fields. The Jets are goofy. This is one of these teams that, they whenever they come up with something, it's always, hey, we got this out. No, you're the Jets. You come up with something that somebody came up with 30 years ago that didn't work then, and for some god-awful reason, you think this is a good plan now. The Jets guys, again, I'd be very surprised if our Pittsburgh Steelers take an L this Sunday. Not just being a Steelers fan, not being arrogant, not any of that. I'm just saying it doesn't feel to me like this Jets team is that great. But let me give you a couple matchups, Mike, that might help you agree with what I'm saying here. TJ Watt, Mike, is going to be facing a rookie. Say what you want about that. What is it? Armand Membo, whatever his name is. Mike, Membo. Yeah. Mike, he is facing TJ. So again, people argue this is the greatest defensive player in the league. Whether he is, and I guess that's debatable. But at the end of the day, he's facing a rookie. So, this plays to our advantage, certainly, unless this rookie plays out of his mind and keeps TJ Watt off the quarterback's ass. So, we have things going in our favor. And also, Mike, this one here, this is a good one. Let me find out where it is at. DK Metcalf. Now, he doesn't have the best statistics against Sauce Gardner to this point. In the first game he played against him, Mike, he had 66 yards against Sauce. And then that was last year. In 2024, he had 66 yards against Sauce. In the first meeting, he had one catch for 3 yards against Sauce Gardner. So, this is something that they probably feel comfortable with and confident about in New York. Hey, look, they have one receiver. We got a guy that shuts that receiver down. Mike, this is what DK said. DK responded. He says, you know what? He's going to have to stop me. What do you think about that, Mike? Let's just say Sauce Gardner gets shut down. Do we have enough offense? Do you have enough confidence in this offense to be able to continue to do what we need to do on Sunday afternoon if DK is in fact shut down by Sauce Gardner?
Yes, I do. We just talked about all those tight ends. I'm comfortable with that. I think we're going to see some stuff out of Calvin Austin that's going to surprise people. Really watch him. You're going to see what a sneaky good route runner he is, and how, yes, he's tiny, but watch him when the ball's in the air and the way he tracks the ball and positions his body to make these catches, looping around guys. Just a little wiggle here, a little wiggle there to get his body in place to catch this ball, because his route running has these guys looking the opposite direction. I think Roman Wilson's going to have a very productive game as well, because like I said yesterday, I think Aaron Rodgers wants to look at him. So I'm confident that if Sauce shuts down DK, there's still going to be plenty of guys for Aaron Rodgers to throw the ball to. And hopefully the O-line and the running backs can get onto a good rhythm too, to where if DK shut down, okay, we'll just lean on the run game.
A lot of things will be learned this Sunday afternoon, Mike.
Yeah.
A lot of things are going to be learned. A couple more things that we're going to get to the board here. I didn't catch the analyst's name, but this was, I think it might have even been on the Steeler, just like the Steeler news, it comes up. The analyst thinks that it's a lock that Sauce Gardner intercepts Aaron Rodgers on Sunday, Mike. Again, it's during the course of a game. It may not happen. But Sauce Gardner, the fact that all they're doing is going on and on and on about Sauce Gardner and nothing really else. And as they're mentioning on the board, the roster's not that good. Their receivers aren't that good. And their quarterback is, our yesterday's trash, figuratively and literally for us. We threw this guy to the curb. Mike, again, this is just another reason. These are reasons that I can't imagine. Again, it's football. Any given Sunday, yes, things could get effed up. Yes, I understand all that. But again, I have a really good feeling about a 1-0 start by the by the Pittsburgh Steelers, and hopefully that keeps them, onto a good, gets them off to a good start. Only because, Mike, the Ravens play the Browns, the Bengals. Somebody's going to win the Browns-Bengals game, so somebody's going to be 1-0 right there. So again, you want to get off to a good start, get that 1-0, and again, it's very possible. And especially if Baltimore goes up to Western New York, beats Buffalo, then you're sitting there saying, okay, not only is Baltimore good, but they're a team that beat Buffalo. And, that's people are going to start talking and saying, you know what, these are a couple of your big AFC contenders for the year. And this team went up there over to their stadium and won. So getting this win, I think, is big. It's not crucial. It's not a must win, of course, week 1. But again, I think a 1-0 start, it gets this team feeling good about themselves. It makes this team feel really confident about their quarterback and their leaders and what they're doing in their game plan. Mike, I think winning this game Sunday, which I think they're going to do, I think it goes a lot further than people understand, especially coming off of a couple of weird seasons. Again, what we've been going through with this team.
Yeah, especially with a game on paper that you should win. You don't want to come out and lay an egg this game. You don't want to lose. The only way like a loss is no. I was going to say is the Jets really aren't that good. It's not like you're playing like the Cowboys and you lose on the late.
What did they have last year? 5 wins.
Yeah.
So that was half as good as we were.
Yeah, you have to win this game. But like all the reasons that you were going through, like this is why the Steelers should win the game. Just coming into my head is like, this is why we're going to lose the game because they don't have that many good players, but they still have enough guys. They still have a couple good guys here and there that can change the course of a game. Like Sauce taking a pick back. That could be if he gets a pick and gets a pick 6. That could be the ball game right there. Quinnen Williams can make a play. Garrett Wilson can make a play.
Anybody can make a play.
Fields can break contain on a long run that changes the game. So like all of these things are in the back of my mind.
Jalen Ramsey could intercept it and take it all the way.
I know.
We learn a lot.
But the pessimistic Yinzer in me wants to go, this is why we're going to lose the game. Is this shit right here. So that's why I'm not as optimistic as a lot of you guys are. I just the creeping doubt in the back of my mind.
I'm as optimistic as I've ever been.
I know. And I don't want to get that high. I don't know if I'm hedging bets or just trying to, not let myself get disappointed or too high, too low. But I just think like this is going to be a game we let slip away.
Guys,
for all the reasons you mentioned, that's why we should kick their asses.
Mike, I'm going to get into one more thing, and then we're going to dedicate the rest of the show strictly to the board, to overs and unders, and going over the NFL schedule for the day, for the weekend, guys. This here is something that's kind of a concern, and it should be for our running game. A lot of speculation, and people don't know what to think yet, what's going to go on with this running game. Of course, I think that with Caleb just not being as posterizing as people were expecting him to be this early. This was something that came up and a question was asked. They asked, I think it was Arthur Smith. It was Arthur Smith. And he was asked about, can Jaylen Warren be a high volume back? Because again, he was the sidecar, of course, to Najee for the first 3 years. Mike, this was what was said by the coach. There are very rare guys that can almost sustain close to 300 carries a year. Give Najee a lot of credit. That was unique about him. So that's kind of been the history. There's been kind of a feature back. We had that in Tennessee. Different strengths. We've got a unique running back, he says. So I don't know what this was kind of dancing around to answer. Do we think that Jaylen Warren could carry the ball 300 times?
Won't know until we see it.
Yeah, for sure.
Like he's short, but he is stocky.
A lot of people don't remember, Mike. When they talk about Arthur Smith, they always forget that he had Derrick Henry on his backfield, and that's huge.
That's a fucking game changer. But like Derrick Henry wasn't Derrick Henry until he got there. Of course, he was, I think, buried behind CJ 2000. So
yeah, and he ended up being Derrick Henry. So I mean,
he ended up being Derrick Henry. You knew he was going to be good, but yeah, that's the thing. When that offense was rocking and rolling down in Tennessee for those 2 years or years OC, they had a running back that they can lean on, and he could do his thing. Now, can they replicate that with Jaylen Warren, Gainwell, and Johnson? That's going to be remain to be seen. That's going to be a huge part of it's a huge question mark. because we saw Jalen Warren in small sample sizes.
Right. And he got injured and he had fumbling issues and like these kind of things. If he's your premier back,
you don't want any of that. There's like some advanced analytics that show like Jalen Warren is one of the best at after contact. He is so good at gaining yards after contact.
He's a bowling ball.
Gaining yards after like contact after being hit behind the line. Him and Najee were some of the best in the league. I wonder why, because they were constantly getting hit in the backfield. Right. But like he has, like some advanced stats that are eye-opening to where he can be. But I like his build. Yeah, he may be short, but he is built like a brick shit house.
And he has that shitty grin like Hines Ward, and I like
he's
it.
Not
I
afraid
like
of contact. He's good in running the ball, pass blocking, pass catching. So he can be a 3 down back. It's just, can the durability be there, and can the fumbling issues subside?
Derpy, anything on any of these categories before we do move on? We have to get to the board. This is Steeler Friday, and I don't want to leave anybody out. Derpy, any comments, questions, or anything?
I'm nervous about Caleb Johnson.
I am too. But again, you know what? The guy's never played a snap in the league, so I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I wasn't blown away. I wanted to be blown away with Caleb Johnson in preseason. I said to myself, you know what? This guy, there's a lot of good things talked about him. He was this, he does that, he runs, he sees holes, he sees everything. We're going to be playing third-string guys in the preseason. He's going to get ample runs, and those things just didn't happen. There was about a series of runs in the last preseason game where I thought he looked really good. But again, I was never blown away by Caleb. I think that's what a lot of people are feeling, whether they realize that or not. But I think that's kind of what's going on. But again, the guy never played a snap. He could come out, and bust a run this weekend for 70 yards and a touch, and we could all be loving him and singing the praises of his name on Victory Monday when it comes around. Guys, so again, I agree with you, Derpy. I wish I was really more loving what I saw so far. I'm not, but again, you got to give him the benefit of the doubt. He hasn't played a single second in an NFL meaningful game.
And then Jalen Warren is Jalen Warren. He'll do his job.
All right. I hope you're right. I hope you're right, guys. Certainly would benefit our team, guys. Let's jump on the board. It's time. It's time. It is Steeler Friday, and I don't want to miss anybody. You know what? This is actually really funny. And I'll tell you why here. Hold on. So first, RB says, "Where is Derpy?" Overfeeding geese after Spice Creation shows up. I was just watching a video about Napoleon Dynamite. You remember this movie came out in the early 2000s?
Yes. I remember.
And when he was feeding the llama, I don't know if you remember that part when Napoleon was feeding it. And we were talking about the llama on the board, and now Derpy's feeding animals over a fence. Like, it's all coming together in this weird way. I'm seeing on the board. Let's see. Also, Austin says, love it. He needs to focus on the season. Cody says, if Aaron Rodgers throws for 4 touchdowns, sniff a shot of vodka. There you go, Mike. Put your nose where your mouth is.
I'm not going to sniff it. I'll do the shot of vodka.
No, that's what anybody could do is take a shot of vodka. What's that?
Oh, you want me to snort?
Yeah.
No. Oh.
Yeah, snort that shit like
fuck no, I'm going to drown. Get caught in my nose and my lungs.
And she said you liked entertaining the people. So what's that? What's a little drowning of the
a little Vanilla Thunder dying on air.
Morgan Love and Rodgers 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, which I didn't expect that. I did expect that from Mark. So you know what? If he does, kudos. And you know what? I hope that he does. I really do. Then he goes into the quarterback, and then he also one more. He says, I think we still play 11 more than half the time. John says the Steelers contracts tell the tale. There are many that are 1-year deals made with older players. I keep that in mind to help manage expectations. It's true. Be true. Vegas is my guess is on the first play of the season. It will be RPO with Aaron Rodgers faking the handoff to Warren, right, then running and throwing to DK on a slant to the left, on the left instead. That's a detailed prediction.
That is too. Holy shit!
I like it though. I'd say, you know what? He's focused. I tell you what, if the Steelers were as focused as Vegas is right now, I have no doubt we're winning on Sunday, because that focus you cannot, you can't fake. Yeah, Derpy.
I said, Mark, what's wrong with you? The next comment.
Mark Malone says, slow down, relax.
You gotta wait, Derpy. Wait till they get there, then react, bro.
You're about to go back to the closet. Mark Malone, Peaches is about to administer the strap on to Derpy's tight end. And that is
Whoa!
that is a really good one. And
Family,
I don't know why
baby.
Derpy loved it so much, but
He
there you
did
go, guys.
too. Derpy had his leg twitched a little bit there.
A little happy dance in his pants.
Oh, yeah.
Trouble.
Let's see. Corey says, it's a fact, though, Mike. We haven't won a Super Bowl since Heath Miller. New England had Gronk. KC had Kelsey. Philly has had Ertz, Goddard. You know what? That Jeremy Shockey, I was just thinking about him the other day, too, Mike. He was a beast. We were talking about beastly tight end. Jeremy Shockey, he was a nut, too. You know,
he was a fucking psycho.
I loved it. I loved watching that guy play.
He was Hurricane, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That explains the whole thing with Shockey.
Cody says, what, Derpy?
I said on the 7th floor.
Yeah. Cody says, I'm just going to address the elephant in the room. Arthur Smith's offense was predictable and boring last year, and I hope that he got that playbook from Henry Winkler this season. I said it, no one was going to. And you know what? That's it has to come down to personnel, I think, Cody, right? It has to. Again, you have Derrick Henry in that offense, and it did really well. You go to Atlanta, it sucked. You went with what we had when you got here. It was fair at best. So, I think that it comes down to personnel, and hopefully we did enough to make the personnel, having these 3 tight ends, I think goes a long way in this particular offense. So I hope that is an advantage. And then also a different quarterback, some things like that. So it's hard to say at this point, but you're right. I mean, if it's more of what we've seen last year, it's going to be a long season. But hopefully the personnel that we made the revisions and the changes and brought in people and took people out, hopefully that's the difference. We start to see something a little different this year. John says the Steelers have had below quarterback average play since 2018. It has been a while. Mark says Magnum Rudolph led the entire NFL in quarterback rating that last year there. Huh. John says Cody Silva. Arthur Smith isn't considered to be state of the art with an innovative mind. That is why he is the offensive coordinator with the Steelers. That could be too. I mean, Mark Malone, he says, I've said it before, the big DK is going to shoot a little of his own special sauce on side.
Oh.
Hey now.
Kinky.
Let's see. John also says, Cody, until the Steelers organization is willing to change its philosophy and hire stud assistant coaches and take the control away from Tomlin, I believe names will change, with the same results. You know what? That's a lot of people are saying that at this point in the journey of Mike Tomlin. So we'll continue to watch and see, John. And sometimes
there's no one else to replace anybody, honestly.
What's that, little Derpy?
I said there's nobody good enough to replace, what we have right now.
No, I mean, we were running with Matt Canada and thought that was a good idea at one point. You see what I'm saying?
There's plenty of offensive and defensive coordinators out there they can take a look at. But not at this juncture in the game.
Everyone is down on Caleb. What did Hampton or Jenny do in the preseason? Nothing, but our logic, I'd be shitting on my pants if I was the Raiders. You know what? I wouldn't, because I said this about Gentry all along. Genty. I thought that if he would have played in a major college, it might have been different. Again, playing in the Boise State Conference and against those teams, I think that certainly helped the way he was projected in college. And again, I wouldn't be surprised to see Austin Genty not be a great running back in the NFL. Hampton, I have not seen a lot, but I have not paid attention. I got to be honest with you. But we will see tonight. We will see tonight as the Chargers take on the Chiefs outside of the States, guys. Vegas. No, I'm sorry. Mark says Derpy is nervous about Peach's strap on. Don't let him fool you. Oh, I know. I could hear it in his voice. There was a shake.
It's like a nervous excitement from Derpy.
Nothing he's not familiar with, right, Derps?
Beep.
Vegas. Najee's longest touchdown run is 37 yards. So if Johnson goes out and takes one to the house for 70 yards, we will go nuts. You're right. Damn right. John says, I am in wait-and-see mode with Johnson and many others. It's way too early to write him off in my mind, and I agree with you 100%. I'm just saying what I saw, I don't love yet. I wanted to love it a lot more at this point. I wanted to really be excited about Caleb, and I'm not. I Again, the blow us away, and again, good point by the earlier message. No, we're not seeing it. We haven't seen a lot of different running backs, especially running backs being successful in the preseason. We'll find out, and that's all we can do. That's all we can do, guys. RB, I went to the original Permanis with this chick in my early 20s, racked up a $160 bill, and the dude closing said, I'll let you walk if you snort a line of ghost pepper. I was saying, oh my God, did you die? Holy
Ouch.
shit. Wow.
That kind of hurts.
Snorting a ghost pepper, come on. I can't even put you touch a ghost pepper, and it burns everything that you eat for the next 7 days. Vegas, that's ballsy, bro. I like it. Vegas says Derpy will go from a tight end to a wide receiver. Derpy, wide receiver.
I'm more of an offensive lineman. So is Mike.
These guys are blockers. RB said nosebleed for 20 minutes after an eyes burn like hell the rest of the day, but I kept $160 and got all night Hummer. Worth it, absolutely. An all night Hummer is worth it. Yes, I like it. But is that ballsy? One of them ghost peppers. It's
like the worst one you can get.
It's like the worst.
Yeah.
Corey says, oh, and AR had Finley when he beat us.
Yep, Jermichael Finley.
RB saying, I'm telling you, last year was not the Arthur Smith offense. That was Mike Tomlin's hand in the cookie jar, and not true. Ryan, Atlanta's offense was top 10 in rushing. 2 of the 3, but they were 7 and 10 3 years in a row. I mean, even if you are scoring, 7 and 10 3 years in a row. Again, those numbers, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see.
Having Bijan Robinson helps too.
Yeah, and then having Derrick Henry when you're in Tennessee. So again, different situations.
We'll see that. Can our line open up the running lanes?
I mean, as average as our team has been, and as bad as our offense has been, we went 10 and 7. His 3 teams, his career in Atlanta was 7 and 10 all 3 years. So I'm just saying. Vegas says DK will probably get a flag for that. RB says, listen to people, bitch. Already isn't innovative and not modern. Bitch when we don't play Steeler football, but then they bitch with that's that's a characteristic of being a Steeler fan.
Oh yeah, I say that shit all the time.
We will always find a reason to bitch. Always find a reason.
Like when Ben and AB and them were slinging the ball through the air, people were putting up points. Why aren't they running the ball? Like, we're fucking scoring points.
Yeah. Corey
I don't care how we play. As long as we score more points.
You know what, Corey? I do too. I like Najee a lot. I hope he does do well. I hope the Chargers do well, and I picked the Chargers in my pick. So I look for Kansas City. It's maybe be the storyline. They'll be talking about stupid ass and his stupid girlfriend and his fiance and a little pregnant man Holmes running around out there. So it'd be nice for them to take a loss and start 0-1 for once. And I think it could cause some buzz in the NFL, which again I think the business is not against. Cody says,
I'm surprised you didn't go too far with that comment of Mahomes.
Why? What's that?
His brother, basically. I'm surprised you didn't go too far on that.
Oh yeah, his brother had some issues, right? I forget what it was. There was something that went on with his brother.
Yeah.
Cody says, I'd replace the offensive coordinator with whoever is in charge of developing the Vikings quarterbacks. So the guy overachieves every year. Especially if we see Sam Darnold go out, Mike, and have a bad week this weekend.
Yeah.
In that game against the 49ers, Seattle's quarterback.
Yeah, because he was the comeback player of the year last year. Everyone's guy. So we'll see.
Yeah. And you know what? It's going to be interesting as well to respond to that, Cody. What's J.J. McCarthy going to do? Is he going to be able to be developed in the same way and be productive? And again, a lot comes down on Minnesota because this team went 15-2 last year. So if they even want to get close to what that was, we're going to be able to see pretty easily how J.J. McCarthy's development is coming along in this particular season. Hey, what's up, Jamal? What's up, dude? Always great seeing you on the board, my friend. He says, did you guys see Crash Out GP last night? He hasn't changed at all. I love it. And that's the one thing that I keep reading is Dallas is going to learn what we already know, and they will. And again, 3 catches, 30 yards, and a personal foul, 15 yards. That's George Pickens. And I thought he was supposed to get all these targets in Dallas. That's why I didn't want to be here. 3 catches and 30 yards sounds like a Steeler stat for George Pickens.
He had a big drop too in that game that he should have made the catch on.
He sure did.
Mm-hmm.
So again, what do you want to go to Dallas to get all these catches? The other guy still got all the catches.
Right.
At least here you had no other guy. There was no.
And at least here you win games.
Yeah.
You already lost.
CD had a million catches, and GP had 3, and it was 2. It was 1 late in the game. So, Cody says, I butt chug ghost pepper for breakfast. I don't know what that means, but my God, it sounds horrible. Corey says, I ate a whole habanero pepper for $5. I never got my $5 and shot fire out of my ass for the day. You should have shouted at the guy that.
So you gotta get the money first.
Yeah,
you gotta get the money as you're eating that fucking thing.
RB says he's not the GM though. Mike, he had Bijan for the year. They weren't in the top 10. It was with Patterson. Yeah, he tried to bring everybody here that he had with him.
No, they were in the top 10 the one year they had Bijan. And it was number 10. But yeah, you're right. For some reason, I always think Bijan's been in the league longer than he has been in the league. Yeah, this is only year 3 for him. For some reason, I thought it was year 4.
And when he came, he brought a buttload of Atlanta Falcons with him, didn't he? It seemed like they were signing Falcons all the time. And there was guys that didn't even make the team, but he brought with him when he came over. I remember this happening.
Yeah.
Aaron says Patrick Queen is not physical enough for me. He lets up on tackles and completely misses other tackles. I have no idea how he got 120 plus. Me either, Aaron. And that's what I'm saying. I want to see more consistent production out of him. But if you look at his numbers, he had a consistent year. But you're right. There's something missing. When you're watching the game, there's something missing. He always seems to be one step behind on covering tight ends. He always seems to be chasing somebody to make the tackle instead of being in position. There's just something about Patrick Queen. I want to see him just look more solid this year overall.
And I think
again, he was solid though. I mean,
and that goes to hit with him being more comfortable in the defense this year. And I think we're going to see a much better Patrick Queen. We better for the money we're paying him.
Absolutely. John says I wasn't writing about replacing coaches now. That is not realistic. RB says Darnold is no different than Baker, other than he was on shittier teams with shittier front offices and shittier coaches.
Remember when they were both in Carolina?
Yes, they do.
And that coach, my God, they couldn't figure out with either of those two. I would have loved to have had that situation of having Baker Mayfield and
look what Cody said
at the same time.
The year before that, it was Kirk Cousins. Vegas is over there sitting in a bucket of milk to soothe your ass for $5. John says, I believe the Steelers' FB style is dead, not bitching. Football style. RB says, Kirk Cousins was a damn good quarterback 4 or 5 years before Minnesota. Guys, we're going to get into
another one of those choke artists.
Go ahead, Derpy.
Also a choke. That's what I was agreeing with Mike.
Oh, that's odd.
Yeah, I know. I don't like this.
No,
Kirk Cousins is the greatest quarterback of all time. There we go.
This Big Ten.
You could say Dak Prescott is Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, he flames out in the big game. A lot of quarterbacks flame out in the big games.
That's why there's only about 5 guys.
We
say it every year. Guys, let me blow through the schedule. Then we have to jump on the overs and unders, guys, for the Steeler Friday, getting ready to head into the opener, guys. The kicks off Sunday at 1 o'clock in New Jersey at MetLife Stadium between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New York Jets. Of course, it started off last night with the Eagles win, starting the season off before a plays even ran between the kickoff and the first play of the game. Jalen Carter spits on Dak Prescott. Was there a second spit, or I don't know. I don't need to be honest. I don't care. I think it was funny. The fact that that's the way the season started. Philadelphia gets the win, 24-20. Continues tonight, guys. The Chiefs play the Chargers outside of the country. I have the Chargers, and I'm not going to go into all who I picked and everything. But Mike, I took the Chargers. I expect the Chargers to be a good team this year. That defense let up less points than anybody last year's defense did, and they made some improvements on offense. I look for them to be good. I look for them to be somewhat solid, and I think they beat the Chiefs tonight, Mike. Again, I'm not going to go through my picks. I'm just saying, starting Sunday, this is what the afternoon looks like. The Dolphins at the Colts is a 1 o'clock game. Of course, the Steelers at the Jets, the Panthers at the Jaguars, the Cardinals at the Saints, the Giants at Commanders. Falcons are hosting the Buccaneers. Bengals at Browns. What a shitty way for to put all these Ohio teams together to kick off the season. Also, Mike, the Raiders at the Patriots, and that is the last of the 1 o'clock games. You start getting some of these out west teams, Mike. The 49ers, they travel to Seattle. They're a 4:05 start. Also 4:05 is the Titans at the Broncos. 4:25, the Lions at the Packers. Also 4:25, the Texans at the Rams. Sunday night classic. I think this game is it's a big game. This is a big game for us. Sunday night, the Ravens at the Bills. Because, again, you're thinking down the road. I don't want to be one game behind Baltimore. I don't want to be one game behind Buffalo in the playoff, whatever. This game is important. We have to win. We'll certainly be watching Sunday night's game between the Ravens and the Bills. And then they wrap it up Monday, Mike, for the first weekend of the NFL with a Vikings-Bears game. Just depending on how J.J. McCarthy is prepared to play, this could be a really good football game. It really could. I think Chicago, they stink always. But you know what? This might turn out being a good game. Monday night, first game of the year. These teams it's a fresh leaf. I think that this has potential to be a good game, Mike, but it all starts tonight with Kansas City and the Chargers. I'm here for it. And again, college football all day tomorrow, and then the NFL to Sunday, Monday. It's here, guys. I feel like screeching like a girl when you get excited.
Fast, though.
What's that, Derpy?
So it's gonna go fast.
Shut up, Derpy. Shut up, Derpy.
It'll be Victory Monday before you know it, and it will be Thanksgiving before you know it, and then you ain't kidding. It will go fast, but you know what? In its defense, off-season went relatively fast as well. So, guys, Mike, Derpy, put on your thinking caps. It is time to get into the first official regular season over-under of the year. Mike, are you ready?
Oh, fuck. I've been ready all day for over-under.
I've been ready for an hour and a half.
All right, Derpy, put on your thinking cap because this is the overs and unders, guys, on the board as well. Throw up whether you think it's an over or under as well. Here we go, guys. This is to kick off the season. Let's do a little Chris Boswell action and kick it off. Mike, Derpy, I'm going to start with you, Mike, on this one. Over under, Aaron Rodgers, 1.5 touchdown passes. Aaron Rodgers, 1.5 touchdown passes against the Jets Sunday afternoon, over or under. And on the board as well, throw them up.
I'm going to take 2 touchdowns. I'm going to take the under.
Taking under, you're saying Aaron Rodgers can throw less than 1.5 touchdowns in the game Sunday. Derpy, to you, Aaron Rodgers, 1.5 touchdown passes on Sunday.
Under.
Under. So both you guys say under. Again, throw them up on the board. We'll read them. Mike, Jonnu Smith, 5.5 catches. Jonnu Smith, 5.5 catches.
That's a good one.
Mike went, or RB said over on the touchdown passes. Second one, guys, Jonnu Smith, 5.5 catches, over or under?
I'm going to go under.
Under as well. All right. Jamal got over as well on Aaron's touchdowns. Derpy, let me come to you. Jonnu Smith, 5.5 receptions.
Under.
Under, and RB got Jonnu under as well. All right, guys, let's get to DK. DK Metcalf, a half a touchdown. Over or under? DK Metcalf, a half a touchdown. Over or under?
I'm going to take the over on that one.
All right. Cody and Corey both got under on Jonnu. Mike is going. You went what on that, Mike? Over?
Over, yeah.
Okay. So you think that he may have a touchdown, but Aaron won't have more than that. Is we're kind of what you're indicating.
Yep, that's where I'm going. Yep.
All right. And Derpy, I'm going to come to you. DK Metcalf, a half a touchdown. Over or under Sunday?
Over.
All right, you and Cody on the board both have over on that one as well. Mike, is this offense going to give up 2.5 sacks? Over or under? Is our offense going to give up 2.5 sacks? Over or under?
That's tough, Mike.
And it could be a push as well because they can get 2.5 sacks.
Yeah, 2.5, yeah.
That's tough.
Steelers offense giving up 2.5 sacks. Over or under? Over by Cody. RB saying under. Mike, what do you think?
I'm going to go push.
You're going to go 2.5.
Yep.
Derpy, I'm going to come to you. 2.5 sacks by the Steelers offense given up. Is it over or is it under? 2.5.
Under.
All right, guys. Almost through the offense here. Mike, here we go. Aaron said Jaylen Warren is an electric meatball. Mike, Caleb Johnson. We talked about him today. 4.5 carries. Over
Ooh.
or under?
Over.
Okay. He's the third down running back. You remember that, right?
Yeah, I
Or
know.
the third string.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Derpy,
They're
to
going to
you.
want to see something from him.
Okay. Derpy, over to you. Caleb Johnson, 4.5 carries. Mike says over. Says it rather confidently.
Over.
All right. And I think Cody's saying that on the board as well. Usually that's the case, Vegas. And you know what, with the sacks, they could count as a half. And that's the only thing that screws up my whole method.
Yeah, Vegas and R. Barley called me out on that one.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I'm not good at math.
But that is the reason on that one. Let's see. Guys, the defense. Over to the defensive side of the ball. Here we go. Is the defense going to cause 1.5 turnovers? Over or under?
Ooh.
Is the Steelers defense going to cause 1.5 turnovers?
I'm taking the over.
Derpy. Steelers defense caused 1.5 turnovers.
Well,
Mike says over.
We are rated 91 in Madden on defense, so give me the over.
Derby taking Madden ratings into the equation here.
You know what? Sometimes it works for people. That's the crazy thing. I never laugh at that anymore, because when people do it and some things work out, it's like, all right, you know what? I'm not messing with the computer tech gods. Guys, next question. Steelers defense. Are they going to get 3.5 sacks? Over or under?
Ooh.
3.5 sacks by the Steelers defense.
You know what? To keep it consistent in my shitty math, I'm taking the push.
The push.
Okay.
No, I think we go over 3.5. I think we get
Derpy 3.5 over or under by our defense. Sacks.
Over. Teach
All right.
Justin Fields.
All right, Jamal got over on that as well. Cody got over on that, and I think Corey has over that on the last one. He's over that on the turnovers. Mike, the three-headed monster in the secondary. Just to make it clear, Jalen Ramsey, Darius Slay, Joey Porter Jr.
I'm so
The three-headed monster, a half interception Sunday afternoon, over or under, a half of interception by the three-headed monster, over or under.
I'll take the over. One of those guys has a pick.
Okay. And Jamal actually said under on the sacks. Okay. And then Corey says under right at 3. Gotcha. Derpy, I'm going to come to you on this one. The three-headed monster in the secondary, a half of interception. A half of an interception. That means one of those three guys has to at least have an interception. Derpy, over or under?
I think this is the most exciting part of the defense, is the secondary for this year.
I do too.
Give me the over.
All right. TJ Watt, 1.5 sacks. It's opening day. He gets that early success sometimes. It's the late games it means something, is where he doesn't post, doesn't put up stats for whatever reason. Guys, game one, a rookie offensive lineman. It is the Jets. Guys, TJ Watt, 1.5 sacks on opening day. Over or under, Mike?
1.5?
Yes.
Push, because he can get a half a sack.
All right, Cody's saying that over. I mean, that's true, but it could also be wrong as well. So you're going to go with the push again?
I'll go with the push.
All right, Derpy, coming to you. TJ Watt, 1.5 sacks by TJ Watt.
Over.
All right. I think you might want to come out and prove. I think everybody wants to come out and prove themselves, certainly on this defense. And again, if they're not playing come from behind, and depending on the defense to win games, you know, you might start seeing more production out of some of these guys, because they're going to be able to impose their will. And so again, that's why we do this. Mike, almost there. We're almost done. Just 2 more. Chris Boswell, 2.5 field goals. Over or under for the day?
Under.
All right. Derpy, Chris Boswell, 2.5 field goals for the day.
Under.
All right, so it's going to be all right. Okay, I'm just trying to piece together what kind of game it's going to be from the answers that you're giving. So 1 touchdown pass, Mike. Under 2 field goals, so that's not a whole lot of scoring. Maybe you're expecting a lot on the ground. And then finally, guys, the one that everybody, what's become notorious on the Two Dumb Yinzers. We've been doing it for years, rightfully so, because we wouldn't do it
Blame Ryan for this.
if
Blame
we wasn't in position to do this. We wouldn't do this. But guys, let me ask you this: over or under a half of a devastating injury for the Pittsburgh Steelers? This means a starter. This means a long-term injury that's going to keep somebody out that's a regular player for a period of time. Mike, you know how the rules go. A half of a devastating injury on the Pittsburgh Steelers roster this Sunday. One half, over or under?
Under.
All right. And Derpy, same question comes to you.
I hate to say it, but over.
It's early. A lot of injuries happen. Guys aren't, in game shape yet. It's not out of the question. And again, if it didn't happen every single year, we wouldn't ask this question. So again, there you go, guys. That is the opening week's over or under for the New York Jets Pittsburgh Steelers matchup on Sunday. Mike, what are the keys to winning this football game for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
This is going to be very, very,
very
very
basic. Under on injuries as well. And you know what? We all hope that Yinzers guys are right. Go ahead.
Yeah. Very basic right here. Control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball.
Yes.
That front five, that high drafted unit needs to protect Aaron Rodgers and needs to open up some holes for these running backs. Defense, control that line of scrimmage. Let your linebackers make the plays. Keep Fields in the pocket right there, and no stupid turnovers. No fumbles, no interceptions, play clean football. It's early. Some of these games can be sloppy, and that's how you can lose against a team you're supposed to beat, is by playing sloppy. They got to play clean football. Even if it's conservative football for at least a half, get your feet wet, do that, and then you will win the game.
Derpy, same question to you. What is the keys to winning this football game for your Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday?
Two. I got two.
Yeah.
Containing Justin Fields.
Okay.
And the other one is our own line protecting Aaron Rodgers.
Absolutely. These are big guys.
Staying healthy too.
You guys, what do you got? What's your predictions? What do you guys think about Broderick? Is he gonna look solid? Is he gonna come out and piss us off? Are we gonna be ready to get rid of Broderick Jones on Monday afternoon? Or are we going to say that he did well enough? Or are we going to say, wow, he played a really good game? I think he's making that turn, turning that corner. What Broderick Jones do you think we see Sunday, Mike? Just a prediction. There's no way of answering this right now.
I think he's going to have a pretty good game. I'm confident in Broderick Jones.
So he's watching the backside. Let me ask you this. Troy Fatanu on the other side of the ball, Mike. Does he have a successful game, less than or more? Or are we going to be just blown away by what Fatanu does? Derpy, let me come to you on this one. Troy Fatanu on the right side of the line. Does he have a good outing this weekend?
I tell you what, I've been so excited for this guy's comeback, and I think he will do very well this week.
All right. And there you go, guys. You heard it here. You heard it from the mouths of Mike and Derpy, the NFL insider, and the person who does not spit in the face of people like Jalen Carter, as it says under Derpy's name. Let me catch a couple of the written out comments, and then we're going to move forward here. I'm going to go back to Cody when he says, if we run away with the game, Caleb will play all game. Also, Corey says Ramsey gets one interception. I think our other interception comes from a linebacker, maybe something that's popped up into the air, or one of them kind of interceptions, perhaps. Corey says TJ gets 2 to make up for the end of last season. That would be nice. Cody also says, I laugh every time you guys say this. Well, this is the Jets. Jamal says, remember, the Jets are starting a rookie. They are starting a rookie tackle, guys. This is going to be another game with TJ. Like, we're either going to be saying Monday that TJ had a great game, or TJ couldn't beat a rookie again. And we've had this conversation before.
Against
give him all that money.
Against DeJuan Jones.
Especially a rookie who's playing his first game. If he's he's a rookie, he's starting this. He's never started in the NFL before. This should be it should be a walk in the park for TJ Watt. No,
it should be, but it's like when I watch hockey, like, rookie goalie, and then that rookie goalie stands on their head and shuts out some of the greatest players of all time. So
rookie goalies in hockey might either give up 10 goals or no goals. There's no in between with a rookie.
And that's like, a few years ago, TJ Watt against DeJuan Jones against the Browns. DeJuan Jones shut him down. So
you're right.
It's happened before. I don't want it to happen, but I can see it. But I think he's going to get at least a sack.
We have nice linebackers. I can't wait to see Peyton Wilson moving around. I can't wait to see these guys doing what they do. And Alex Highsmith healthy, and
maybe
the secondary.
Herbig. Yeah.
And Herbig, maybe Herbig, and then also Y.A. Black on the line. I want to see what Benton does this year. I want to see a little bit of improvement out of him. So a lot of things are going to be at play, and especially if you're going to be moving TJ Watt around now, and he's not going to be out exactly at the 9 o'clock position every time on every play. I
like that.
I want to see how he performs in that situation. So if they do move him around, but again, he's a rookie is over top of him, protecting Justin Fields. It's interesting, Mike, because if it was a pocket passer, I'd like TJ's chances. A lot of times Justin Fields sneaks out of that. He sneaks out of the trouble and can move. So again, I don't think that we're going to kill them by way of sack or anything like that. I think that Fields is very mobile and very able to escape danger. So again, a lot of things. We're going to learn a lot of things about our team, a lot of things about the black and gold on Sunday. Let me finish up on the board, Mike, and then we will get into trivia and get headed into this weekend, guys, for the Steelers game. Corey says over, one injury, 4 to 6 weeks. I usually don't like to participate in this one, but history shows there's always there's always one in week 1. And again, I don't either, but you know what? It's kind of something that just developed on this show, and we stuck with it until a couple years goes by, Mike, and there's not a long-term injury early. We're going to continue. Corey also says Brojo is going to cost us a first down for sure. I think that's a given. But overall, I think he has a good – I hope he has a solid game. Derpy.
No, I was just saying that's a given. Yeah, Broderick is probably going to do that.
Just a couple of things, guys, and we are going to get to the Steelers question of the day. Mike, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, our other football team, they travel. They play the Oakland Roots Sunday at 4 o'clock. Also, the college football, Mike, Central Michigan travels to Acrisure Stadium tomorrow at noon to play the Pitt Panthers. The Panthers are sitting at 1-0 after their big win over Duquesne last week. In Penn State, Mike, they will be hosting FIU as Penn State sits at number 2 overall in the country. They play Saturday at 12. Derpy, who does Ohio State play? I don't have their information written down.
Rambling State.
So there you go.
Powerhouse, Derpy.
Yeah, we should cook them.
So those are the games for college that matter to us here. Also, high school week 2 here in Western Pennsylvania, Aliquippa up against Avonworth. Mike, these are 2 really good teams going at it tonight. So I'll be working this game, actually, as a matter of fact, tonight. And finally, the Pittsburgh Pirates, Mike, the hottest team in baseball, winning 11 of their last 14. Right. Mike, they sweep the Dodgers. They beat the Dodgers last night 5-3 after shutting them out the night before. Paul Skeens pulls himself back over 500 for the season, which I didn't think that he was going to do just because the team is so bad. So he is actually leading the NL race for the Cy Young. He's got back over 500, which, again, a lot of that isn't even his fault. Today, they start a 3-game set that goes through the weekend with the Brewers at home. Mike, game 1 of 3 is today at 6:40. Former Pirate Quinn Priester comes with an 11-2 record to face off against Johan Oviedo, who has a 2-0 record. That series starts tonight. Mike, the Pirates, again, by the end of this weekend, they could be 10 games under 500. Again, people laugh, but if you follow them and kind of know what the Pirates are about, being 10 games under with about 20 games left is kind of
it's an achievement for the team.
It's an achievement for this team. Again, doing nothing but winning more than losing since DK has been managing the team. So that is the Pirates for the weekend, Mike. A big series against the Brewers. But you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. It's football. It's a Steelers kickoff. A lot of people aren't talking about this. I like Skeens. I'm going to follow my Pirates a little bit. But, Mike, it's football season. So why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about the website, and we'll get into the question of the day.
The TwoDumbYinzers.com. Check it out, everyone. You know what's over there. We got our merch store. We got our links. We got The Dumb Thoughts by Vanilla Thunder himself. Oh, my God. I can't wait for Monday to drop a new one after the Steeler game and the rest of the NFL. Some dumb news and notes, thoughts over there at the TwoDumbYinzers.com.
Go check it out, everybody. A lot of cool things over there. www.the2dumbYinzers.com. That's www.the2dumbYinzers.com. Go check it out. We grabbed these couple messages from Vegas, and then we were going to get into it. First, Corey says, I think Black and Cam are going to drive Fields right into Watt. That would be fantastic. I can't wait. There's so many things. There's so many things that could happen, guys, and I know everybody's just as excited as I am. Vegas says the answer to your future trivia question is 1973. And he follows it up by saying a 1.98 ERA for Skeens. Now, he just doesn't let up runs, this guy. It's unbelievable. He has one of the best starts in pitching that any pitcher has ever had. in Major League Baseball. It's fun to watch, guys. Even if you have a hard time stomaching the Pirates, which I do, Paul Skeens is definitely going to be something special, and I tell you what, he's going to look real nice hoisting that World Series trophy in them Yankees pinstripes one day. I think we could all bet on that, guys. And finally, Vegas, as Paul has 10 no decisions, 9 of those he gave up 2 or less runs. It's unbelievable what the offense does not do when he's on the bump, guys. But let's get back to what's important this weekend. The Pittsburgh Steelers, the NFL, football, back on our television sets, Mike. Derpy, this is the how well do you know your enemy? How well do you know your opponent segment?
Yes.
Trivia of the day. This is a New York Jets question. Derpy, Mike, put on your thinking caps. Once again, you took them off, but now you got to put them back on. Everybody on the board. Here we go for question of the day. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't expect a lot of people to know this. This is going to be kind of a fun guess to see who can get the closest. But this, guys, is the final Jets trivia question. There will be no more this year unless we face them in the playoffs. Laughter stops. I continue. Guys,
I was just letting that one hang in the air, brother.
This is the question of the day. Here we go, guys. What is the most amount of points the Jets ever scored in the game? Again, this is almost impossible to know. Let's see who can get the closest. Again, there was a lot of questions, and all the relatively average questions we used up last week with that 2-week wait. So let's go with this today. What's the most points the Jets ever scored in a game in the team's history? Take a moment to think it over, guys. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day right here on the Tube.
You praying over there, Vanilla Thunder?
Tube. What's that, Derpy?
I'm saying, is Vanilla Thunder praying over there?
No, I got to keep my hands up. Otherwise, I get accused of cheating.
Yeah, he's got to always keep his hands visible during trivia time.
Like the board in Cinnamon always accused me of cheating, and I don't like that. Cody's
saying 38. Let me ask the question to make sure. That's actually really funny. But you know what? Even if it was his correct answer, not even being facetious, it makes it even funnier. Let me re-ask the question just to make sure everybody's on the same page, guys. What's the most amount of points the Jets ever scored in a game? The most they've ever scored in a game. Cody's saying 38. John's saying 48 on a guess. And that's all we could do. Again, I really didn't expect anybody to know this. If somebody gets it, good for them, guys. Corey says, I want to say 42. If can't be more, it can't be more than that. Mike, what's your thought process on this one? Most amount of points the Jets ever scored in a game in the history of the team is what?
I'm going with, let's go 45.
45 points?
That seems achievable for the Jets.
Seems achievable. Derpy, I'm going to come to you. I got 45 by Mike. 42, 48, 38 on the board. Derpy, what's the most points the Jets ever scored in a game in the history of their franchise? Again, we learned earlier in the week that's what, 1959 or something like that, right?
37.
37 points is okay. So you got 37. Cody says 38. Mike says, Corey says 42. Mike says 45. John says 48. A lot of guesses, and this is your final answers, correct, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Let me lock you in place. Derpy's smoke detector took his pick as well. We're all locked in. Guys, here we go. What is the most points the Jets ever scored in a single game in the history of their franchise? A lot of different answers. I'm sorry?
Watch it be under 30.
Vegas is saying 51, a little bit higher there. So there you go, guys. A variety of different guesses. Let's get into it and find out the answer. What's the most points the Jets ever scored in a game in their team's history? This game was in 1985 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers gave up scored 28, and they lost by the score of 62-28 against the Jets, guys. 1985, 62 points by the Jets in a 62-28 win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who you got to remember were really bad in the late 70s when they became a team into the 80s. So that's not a surprise to me. But yes, the Jets, 62 points in a game. One time they scored in the 50s about 3 times. If you look down through their history, there was about 3 times they did score in the 50s, but the most they've ever scored in one particular game, 62 points. So that was a tough one. Again, I didn't expect anybody. I just wanted to see how close we can get. And again, that's the last Jets question of the year. Next week, we'll be kicking off with the Seattle Seahawks questions, Mike, for the How Well Do You Know Your Enemy segment. Trivia of the part of the show, guys. Vegas is damn Tampa. But you know what, guys? Tampa. It's here. We are wrapping up the Steelers Friday show. of the two dumb Yinzers guys, and I got to be honest with you, I'm as excited as I've been in a long time. I get the warm and fuzzy. As a matter of fact, I could probably screech like a girl if I wasn't around everybody. But guys, I know you are, and Mike is, and Derpy is, and Cody is, and Corey is, and Vegas, and John, and everybody, Mark Malone, and
No
the whole way down,
gentleman.
Jamal. Who am I missing? RB,
Spice.
Aaron, Spice.
Nice.
You guys,
I
I know you because we do this every day. We all hang out and we talk and we do this, so I know everybody's excited. Guys, so get your jerseys, get your towels out, get some food ordered, whatever you're gonna do, some wings, and get ready because Sunday afternoon it is on. It is on like Donkey Kong. The Steelers going to try to start off on the right foot and get that first place. They'll be tied with somebody in the division as the two Ohio teams do face off at the same time as we play the Jets. And then again, the Ravens, they play Buffalo Sunday night. So a lot of good AFC North football to start off the season. Like two teams playing one another, one team playing against Buffalo. So let's take advantage and beat this Jets team that we probably should beat. I would think at this point, guys. Mike, any last words for the week before we go into Steeler weekend?
It's only one game. Let's not overreact one way or the other. But I know I am. I'm gonna overreact like a mofo because God damn it, we're Yinzer Steeler fans and that's what we do. And I can't wait for kickoff. I can't wait to sit down and watch the team play.
All right, Derpy,
It's been a long off season.
Derpy, what's your final words to everybody before we go into Steeler weekend, the first official regular season game?
I got two things.
You always got two things. Derpy always has two things.
You know, Derpy always has two.
All right, go ahead, Derpy.
Firstly, don't be a Jalen Carter and spit in someone's face this weekend.
Okay.
And secondly, we're from the town with the great football team. We cheer the Pittsburgh Steelers.
You know what? Who needs Taylor Swift? That's the second time on the show this week that Derpy sang, and I think he sings like a bird or a pterodactyl, whatever, something that flies. But you know what, Derpy? I agree. It's Steeler time. Get the songs out. Get everything going. Get the Steeler polka. Get the Renegade. Get whatever whatever that you love to get going. Get yourself going on the board. I'm seeing excitement as we are getting ready to wrap up. Jamal saying, "Here we go, baby." That's right. Vegas is saying Y2J. You just made the list. Cody's agreeing. He's ready to get ready. Corey says this is the best Steeler community out there. We appreciate that, brother. We all work, you and us and everybody, to do just that. This is the only channel I take seriously. We certainly appreciate you, Corey. We really do. And you just earned a game ball for the day, and that is a day where there was a lot of potential game ball earners. Cody said that Jamal was on the list. Vegas says 63-7 over the Giants in 1952. I think that is in response to what Cody asked. What is Pittsburgh's highest scoring game? Corey Beaver says doesn't count before my existence. Hogwash. That's usually Derpy's argument, isn't it, Derpy?
Yeah.
If it happened before you were born, it didn't happen.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Look at Corey said.
Corey says sings like an owl in a headlock. And Kenneth, always great seeing you, my friend. Kenneth says first page, chapter 1 Sunday. That's right, baby. This is what we do. This is what we waited all season for. And it's getting to that head. And you know what? I'm excited for every one of you on the board, every one of you at home, everyone on this panel, because you know what? This is what we waited all year for. Just a couple things, and I will let everybody get into their weekend as we do have again more football tonight. The NFL, the Chiefs, Chargers tonight, college all day tomorrow. Pitt, Penn State, all the teams, and then Sunday the full slab of NFL games. Monday night, wrapping up the weekend. So, guys, a couple things before we do roll is this: if you haven't had a chance to check out any of our social media, go check us out. We are all over social media on Facebook, on X, formerly known as Twitter, on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. Swing by, hit the follow button, and keep up with what the Two Dumb Yinzers are doing on an everyday basis. And then also, if you haven't had a chance to right here on YouTube, below, just hit the like button, hit the sub, and to share. It helps us out. We'd appreciate it greatly. Also, catch Derpy on Sunday night. Derpy on Sunday night, we are going to be running the first on our channel, his show that he does with his friends Crispy and what's the other guy's name? Trixie
Brian.
Or what is it? Yeah, Chris and Brian. Doesn't he call him like Trixie or something like that? What's his nickname that he goes with? Trigger. Check out them guys out on the Average Boys podcast right here on our channel, 9 o'clock on Sunday night. They talk about, nerdy things, movies, superheroes, all that stuff. If you like it, check them out. It's really, that's informative. It really is. Check the guys out, the Average Boys podcast, Sunday night right here on our network, and check out Derpy and the guys talk about all that kind of stuff. Mike, the picks, as far as the picks goes, now, if you didn't do your picks yet, are you still able to do the picks for the rest of the games on that site? Like if let's just say I didn't do it yet. Would I be able to go in and make the picks now, being that the weekend started, the schedule?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
All right, so do that, guys. If you get a chance, I don't know if you're still going to be able to make your picks this week. You may be. You just maybe wouldn't be able to pick last night's game. Go to the link that Mike puts up on the YouTube page and in the comments section.
Yeah. You can still change them. You can still change.
All right, guys, all the way up until kickoff for every game. Go make the picks. We got a bunch of guys on there already. It shows you the list of names. I think it will eventually show us the standings. Stop over there. It costs absolutely nothing. Why not? Stop by, pick your teams. We'll see how we do. Again, maybe we'll make something of it, Mike, depending next week how well it picks up. Maybe we'll do something, give away gifts, prizes, things like that. What else am I forgetting? Anything? Mike, the Pirates are 64 and 77. College, high school, pro, everything going on this week. And Mike, anything else?
I got nothing else, bro. I think we covered it all. I'm ready for some fucking Steelers football, baby.
All right, guys, get them towels out, get your jerseys out. If you're gonna drink,
7, here we go.
If you're gonna drink, stay safe, and don't do anything crazy. And hopefully we get to see everybody back Monday morning for Victory Monday, guys. Enjoy yourself. Let's go Steelers. Let me grab a couple more of these guys. Vegas says have a great weekend. DL Dub, what's up, dude? Always great seeing DL Dub on the board. He has been in 5 of the last 9 chip games is the stat. There you go, guys.
Okay.
Kenneth was saying, was happy to see Pickens is just Pickens last night. Jamal made the list. He likes it. He loves it, actually. And finally, John says, thanks, guys. See you on the Finch after game show. Guys, if keep your eye open. If that does pop up, check it out. I know that they're planning on doing it, but I also know that, Mike starts drinking on game day and things like this. But
I said I was not being on there, brother.
Okay, so
that's all.
It is in the plans. If everything goes well, we will see everybody on Sunday afternoon. If not, we'll see everybody first thing Monday. Hopefully, again, it's going to be Victory Monday. I think we got this in the bag. Guys, enjoy yourself. Stay safe. It's here. This is what we waited all season for. For Derpy, for Mike in the Steelers Central Mobile Studio, myself, the two dumb Yinzers, everybody have a great, safe, winning Steeler game weekend. Enjoy yourself. We'll see everybody Monday morning. Let's go Steelers. Here we go.